Welcome back to Tabletop Nights. We have just finished playing Trade and Triumph from Paragon Games.
Absolutely.
I'm Greg, and I'm joined by Victor.
The loser. We played two-player, went for about an hour and a half.
Yep.
We've got a condensed playthrough on our channel, so go check that out. We're going to do a really nice review for you here. The Kickstarter is live right now if you're seeing this video, unless it's like 30 days after this video is released. But go check it out. The link's in the description.
Remember, we are playing it based on a game that was 95% there. It's just a prototype or pre-production copy.
Yes. Yep.
So there may be some slight changes, but it's definitely good enough to show the quality of what they've done here.
Yeah, and this is the end of our game, so some of these cubes may not be there. But essentially the way the game works is you have to traverse the board. Each time you get to an end node, you gain the resource that matches it. So this one, you'll gain a white cube if you go up the mountain pass. If you go up the forest path, you go and you get yourself a green cube. Once you get all 4 cubes, you can trade those in for 6 victory points, or you can trade in a singular resource for 1 victory point.
Correct.
First to get to 20 points wins. Then there's lots of different things that you can do throughout the game to get to that point. It's not just utilizing the path. We found a lot of cards in here that went towards stealing resources from each other or just gaining victory points that way.
Yeah, so there's definitely a gotcha element to it, and the game definitely is slow at the start. But that's good when you're learning a game.
Yes.
More experienced players might go, well, let's start with a few extra cards in play.
Yeah.
You get do your own house rules, things like that. But then as it gets towards the back half of the game, it really starts to accelerate. And you're going, oh no, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like Victor's suddenly on 11 victory points. I was on 2. But then I ended up getting the last... I got the last 9 really quick. Or 18 really quick.
So we'll go over quickly how you go through a round, essentially.
Yeah.
So you both start in the middle. At the start of the game, you start with 1 movement. But each player has these upgrade boards. 10 coins you can move 2. 20 coins you can move 3.
That's to upgrade. And it's permanent.
Permanent upgrade.
Yep.
This one lets you draw 2 or 3 cards or play 2 or 3 cards, depending on where you are on the board. So just say the board is where it is now. You would move your 3 spaces. You would draw 2 cards. Then you would play the cards. The cards can either be trade cards, which go face down on your play area, and they activate when you reach either the city or the node. Once they flip, this one here, for example, if you're on the mountain, you'll get 3 gold, and you'll get plus 3 gold just naturally anyway. But if you weren't on the mountain and you were here, you would just get the 3 gold for down there.
So it requires a little bit of pre-planning, but sometimes you're just going to chuck them down anyway.
Yeah.
Because you just want the money.
So you'll definitely have to go through each area to make sure you get one of each resource. That's probably the fastest way to advance on the victory point track.
That's it.
And then obviously you've got
Eternal cards.
Eternal cards. These are basically
they're influence,
cards.
but they're influence cards. But Eternal ones have the little sword symbol on there.
So these are basically action cards essentially. So this one, for example, you would pay 4 gold to play it. At the start of your turn, you may look at the top card of any deck. So that'll happen every turn if you want.
Thereafter.
So that'll stay as a permanent card. And then there's cards that are instantly played, which some of them might steal a resource, some of them might let you discard cards or sell cards, for example. And then you've got the specialty cards, I believe.
Yes.
These are the most important cards. These cost 10 to draw, but they have the biggest bonuses, essentially. So this one, for example, gain 2 gold for each Eternal card in play, up to a maximum of 20 gold, and then you gain a victory point. So they're very important cards.
Yeah, and look, there's some in here that'll give you quite a few victory points.
Yeah.
Like this one says, if you have less than 4, you get 4.
Yeah.
So really powerful. You can't afford to ignore those.
No, but we did find, again, the game starts, you're moving 1 spot, you're drawing 1 card, you're playing 1 card. And then towards the end, we're playing 3 cards. We're running out of things to do. We're forgetting some of our actions because there's so many things to keep track of, which is great because we thought this game might be a little bit...
a bit light.
But it's actually much heavier than we thought, which we really appreciated. It made it quite fun.
I'd say definitely a medium weight depth. Even people new to games will enjoy this. There's the text is easy to understand.
Yep.
We haven't had to check virtually anything.
Yeah, that's actually true.
At all, and you can always just refer back to the rule book, which is kind of cool. The cubes are really good for picking up. So if you like pick up and deliver games, you've got to like gotcha games, because this definitely has a little bit of gotcha.
Yes, definitely.
And although there's not a lot of player interaction on the board itself, the cards are slamming each other quite often.
Yeah.
But there are cards that'll say, like, I got Victor a few times where when I passed him, I was able to steal a resource off him.
Which hurt a lot, because getting a resource is a whole rotation of one section, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and initially you were getting quite a lot of them, and I was really slow because Victor was slowing me down. Like, there was one turn where he forced me to go into the city and not be able to trade.
Yes.
Which means I had to go all the way around again to be able to do that.
Come back.
Yeah. But it was never frustrating that I go, I want to throw my toys out of the cart.
No, there's some gotcha games where you're like, oh, that undoes like half an hour of my work.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like the type of games where you're spending money on resources and you're balancing, that's also another aspect of the game I really enjoyed. You know, do I upgrade quickly, or do I spend money on the cards, or again, do I spend money on playing my action cards? The balance was really quite fun, something I quite enjoyed, to be honest.
Yeah, so I'd describe it as a pick up and deliver Euro style tableau builder.
Yeah, yep.
Right, with some action card play in between. It's easy to get up and running. It can take a while. I'd say, your first game you might stumble a bit, but the art style and the simplicity of the board work makes it far more approachable.
Yeah, it's one of those things as well where it's not doesn't take long for you to learn. It's about 5-10 minutes to have a quick.
It's like a leaflet rule book.
Yeah, and that's why we were surprised with how in depth the cards made it, because they're essentially just new rules that you're adding into the game. I was actually quite surprised and pleased with how many different cards there were as well, which means that pretty much every time you play, you're going to have new combinations of cards that you're going through.
Yeah, huge stack.
Yeah, huge stack, and we didn't make it through barely any of the specialty deck. I'd love to see more of those, to be honest. But yeah, this game still isn't, at this stage, still not 100% set in stone. There's still rules that are going to evolve, but where it is currently, I quite enjoy it. With 2 players, again, I went for about an hour and a half. 3-4 players, you're going to be sitting here for 2 hours.
Quite possibly, I suppose. Look, one house rule we thought of was you could actually play it as partners.
Yeah.
So you're still trying to get 20, but you're attacking each other, not everyone else there.
Yeah.
But maybe, and because we haven't played it 3 or 4, maybe there's other elements that make it accelerate.
Yeah, more stealing.
Potentially, because there's more cards out there and more options.
Yes.
So,
the balancing of the deck, you end up with a lot of cards and a lot of discarding. Initially, yeah. You can obviously sell them at these points for gold, but if you're sort of, there is a lot of managing your deck. So if you enjoy those type of games where you like constantly having an exchange of cards, you'll really enjoy that. We went through the deck quite quick, to be honest.
Yeah. And there was no sort of analysis paralysis. Like you can pick up, you'll have a hand of 7 cards by the end of your turn. You can go above that, but then you have to discard down. But you go, you know what? I kind of know what they do, and I know what that one does. Yeah, I'll do that one.
Yeah.
If you got someone who thinks a lot and looks at absolutely everything, that could be slow, but don't let them play. That's
fine. But yeah, again, we like the theme. We enjoy the how simple it is to learn, and how deep the gameplay actually was towards the end.
It was, because the board is super simple.
Yes.
You look at it and you think, oh, is there anything there? But you go, this is actually the only way you could do it, because if you had just tracks, or if you had this one always connects to that one, it almost makes it too easy.
Yeah.
So this means, how am I going to do this? And you can't backtrack. Once you set out on a journey, you can't go back and change your mind. You've got to keep going.
Yeah.
Some interesting choices to be made. The art style is really good. It definitely has that Euro Alhambra sort of look about it to me. So there's definitely brown elements there.
Yeah, I like that look, yeah.
But I quite like that. And you'll see the 4 different regions on the board are easy. The iconography is really good. There's only sort of 3 different types of these cards. These are kind of all the same. And these are kind of all the same, except the effects are different.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not like you have to go, oh, what's that icon mean?
Yes.
Super simple.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. There's not like there's two icons essentially. It's like which card's an eternal card, which card isn't. You know what I mean?
Correct.
It's actually quite easy to keep track of, which surprised me.
Yeah, so I'd highly recommend playing this game with your friends. I like the idea of the partners. Maybe that'll make its way into the game as a variant.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but that's a home rule you can play as well. So,
But you can. It's the kind of game that's quite flexible, and the rules are so straightforward
yeah.
that there should be no problems understanding it. We actually had a good time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you very much for watching again. Trade and Triumph from Paragon Games. Thank you so much for supplying the what do we call this? We call it not a promotional copy. It's
a prototype. Pre-production.
Yes. Pre-production and
good luck with the campaign, guys.
Absolutely. Make sure you check out the link in the description below. Until next time. See ya.
See ya.
Do you have any subscriptions to the Tabletop Nights?
Oh, I guess you could subscribe there and watch another video down here.